Good afternoon and good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls from around the world, and welcome to Minor League Esports presented by APM Music. I am your happy-go-lucky hooligan host, Captain at Soka, and it's glad to be back, for I have missed you, and I only hope you missed me as much I have you. But today I am not joined in the booth alone. Oh no, I am joined by the one and only Foof.
Captain, oh Captain, this is my first time being able to work with you, man. I am so excited to be here and be back on the MLE stage. It's week 7. It's Foundation League. We have the number 4 and number 2 teams coming in off of this orange side. So it's very important here. Playoff implications starting to find. It's going to be a very key game 1, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Like, especially when you got these teams that are still kind of like battling out for their stances and their positions along in the overall, record stat sheet. So that way, when you go towards playoff time, who's going to be edging closer, to making it into those rounds. So it really is pivotal for two teams like these, that are really battling it out to have a foothold, in the overall lineup as far as like teams are concerned and playoff is concerned. But we're going to be looking at some of the players that might be standing out today, and one of those is 1.0 MPI. We're looking at 1.0 MPI, of course, because they are 5th on the leaderboard for the MVPR rating, just MVPR all across the board. They are 5th in the league, which is pretty impressive for them. And then if you go down just a little bit more, in the 9th place over there for the Shark side, we shined a little light on the Wizards. Let's see what the Sharks are working with. And Spike has the number 9 spot in goals. So that's going to be a pretty good offensive presence that they have on the field. But right underneath Spike, in that number 10 spot, is 1.0 MPI again, which isn't that, it's not that surprising to see because they hold such a standing in the MVPR leaderboard. So it's not surprising to see them, that high on the goals leaderboard as well. But still, Spike has that upper edge when it comes to goals. So I'm looking for Spike to kind of stand out on the offense side for the Sharks. And if we scroll a little bit further down, we're going to look at the Piggy Buggy, who's going to be standing out for the Wizards in terms of saves. They have the number 5 spot in saves. So we're literally seeing a good clash of talent here. And then, of course, for the number 7 spot, you see Spike again holding the number 7 spot for saves for the Sharks. So we got a lot of talent on the field today.
9, a lot of numbers there at Soka, but the ones that are important are the records. The Wizards come in, they are 12 and 13, one singular game under that 500 mark. You look across the pitch. I was wrong. I was looking at the Spectre, not the Sharks. The Sharks are 7th currently. They are sitting at 11 and 14, 1 and 4 in the series. So it's very, very important here for the Sharks to begin catching back up and pushing towards that playoff race. The players are in. I'm in. At Soka, you're in. There are 5 minutes on the clock. We're getting ready to get loaded in. I'm excited. We are here, week 7 Foundation League action. Go ahead and kick us off, man.
All right, well, we are underway, and it's going to be a good kickoff to start things off as Insulator Gap will take this towards the corner. Getting a little physical in the corner there. We're starting to see some bumper car action, as it's going to be Eskimo, who has a chance to win themselves a 1v1, but gets batted away and out into the side. And now here comes Panas, going to be taking this one into the corner, and will get past one defender, but not past the second. This will go right back into a counterattack, but a good play by the Piggy Buggy for letting that one go to be picked up by Eskimo. And already we're seeing some pretty good solid rotations on both sides of the ball. Already 30 seconds gone. I'm liking that so far we haven't seen one of those early kickoff goals, or maybe one of those nuttery buttery goals that you see in like the first couple of seconds. Just goes to show me that it should lead up to a very close game.
What's a game 1 feeling out in a demo coming through from Eskimo that opened up the net, but it was shut quickly as Gap able to close that one. The Sharks pushing up now, and you look, we were talking about earlier, Spike and MPI, but neither player in tonight, so both teams playing without their team leaders. And you look at it, I think it's Piggy. Piggy is the one who was that second man, that second hat on this Wizard side, so it's going to be up to them to step it up as they take another shot here. They have a pass mid, trying to drop it down for Eskimo. Eskimo, the soft touch, that Octane too perfect.
Yeah, this was actually a really nice pass play, and textbook too. The Piggy Buggy getting that one out of the corner off the back wall there and just leaving that for Eskimo. And it's really pivotal because the corner is some of the trickiest plays that you will find in the game. So being able to maintain your composure and control in the corner is really going to lead to a lot of goals. And already they have the 1-goal lead. So if they can maintain that type of control in the corner, it's only going to work more in their favor. And it's going to be on, the Sharks to really try and get defense going, because I think I can speak for every defender when I say that we absolutely hate defending the corner.
Well, you get baited into the corner, but there's no reason to go there as Insulator Gap finds the gap in the defense. A quick transition play from the Sharks off of an awkward touch leads to a goal.
Not only that, but the pass at the midfield, that was gnarly. Like, we had a lot of bump and physical plays going on, and then luckily one of the players was able to kind of break out on that one. I believe it was Parker that was able to break out, get that touch just a split second before meeting a grisly demise and being able to get that one out over to Insulator Gap, find the pass, and they found the back of the net. We're all even at 1.
Well, notched back up and only 2 minutes off the clock as Gap has another hole here, but could not find the shot there. That ball drifting slowly down in front of the Wizards net. Very tantalizing, very good for this team, but the Sharks unable to capitalize. Parker with a pass back out to himself actually as Panas not able to get to this one. The Wizards running back home. Eskimo the last man back. An awkward touch here and he puts it behind Gap. The back passes not really coming to fruition as the Sharks turned away by a little bit of we'll say unfavorable touches there at Zoka.
Yeah, it was looking like to me, you know, it was a little bit of panic. I think I saw a tiny bit of panic going on just then. And it happens to all of us. You know, we missed the play that we're aiming for, so we try and readjust really quickly. And then we end up just kind of confusing our teammates because they thinking that we're giving up on the ball, leaving it for them to come through in rotation. And in the end, you know, we end up messing up what they were trying to do as well. So, I mean, a little bit of panic, nothing to feel bad about. You know, we all do it. It happens even to the pros. So, and no harm, no foul. We're still all tied up even at 1, so I wouldn't let it faze me too much. But now it's going to be the piggy buggy trying to get something done, as it's going to be I'm sorry, I have trouble pronouncing this name. Patriots dribbling that one, but now getting taken away, and it's going to be again into the Sharks side as Patriots going up high is met by Panas in Insulator Gap. Now going up, and a little bit of whiffs going on right here. 1, 2, and finally a touch coming through for Eskimo, who has the opportunity for the double touch, but it will find the ground and get cleared away by Parker.
That ball just sat in front of the Sharks net, and the Wizards just could not find a way in. Now they have to give up. They've backed off for some boost. Piggy, very, very good and spatially aware. Closing in time. A nice touch here over 1, but Parker waiting in the wing. No, he's going to overcommit Panas, but Eskimo, that last man back. But now Parker, a 2-on-1 opportunity, but both players go to the corner. No one on the ball. That means there's no one to take the shot, even if it's past. Patriots coming back through. That ball still found a way. But no, the Wizards bend but do not break. This blue side breathing a sigh of relief. Both teams putting the ball dangerously in front of the net, but we're still deadlocked at 1-1.
Yeah, now we're seeing somewhat of a pattern coming through from the Sharks, and I think I can confidently say it's a pure lack of communication, because that's twice now that they kind of interfered on each other's plays, because that was a beautiful pass play, and the Sharks had a player out there in the middle ready to receive it and put that one into the back of the net on what should have been a goal, open that opportunity, and then they just got in each other's way. They didn't let the play go through, and that just screams to me that you're not screaming to each other. We need some more communication, and just even there could have been a great pass play, almost a similar setup, but luckily this time around it was Eskimo who saw that one coming and was able to play the defense.
A lot of ones plays here. It's Eskimo with the soft touch and puts it behind the last defender. I was sitting there saying, I like these one plays from both of these teams. They look for one-on-ones, and Eskimo did it before, but this time he pulls it all the way.
Oh, 100%. Like, we're watching, you know, Eskimo definitely pull off a little bit of magic there. Not just getting past 1, but 2 defenders, and then doing it with a little bit of flair. Definitely using the top of that Wizards hat to kind of, like, navigate their way through the opposition. So it was actually really, really fun to watch, and a good display of, like you said, those ones mechanics, because it's one thing to coordinate with your team, but sometimes you just got to take it yourself, and that's exactly what they did, and they were able to get the job done with the final seconds ticking away. It will not be an easy game. We are tied back up at 2.
You know those dramatic slow motion moments where you see the guy like, no? That's what the Wizards were doing. This ball just slowly floats down in front of their net. 2 players up, no one can find it, and Gap ties it all the way back.
You see, we're talking about those slow motion plays, but you know what I was thinking when Insulator Gap went up for that one? In my head, I see it coming down, I'm watching Insulator Gap line it up, and I'm thinking, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. Goal, and then boom, we're tied at 2. So it's definitely hype filled so far in game number 1, and like we were saying, you know, we're expecting a close game, and I am glad it's not disappointment, because we are all the way back in overtime just in game number 1.
Yep, regulation could not do it in game one, but Parker trying to have something to say for the soft touch here, but a good save there. Eskimo protecting the lower side of the net. Sometimes they're baited high. That soft touch off the tires, very threatening. Parker can't find it, though. Was up in time. A beautiful pass. The Sharks swarming around this net. They are in a feeding frenzy, but there is no goal to be had. The pressure caught once again at midfield. These orange cars are circling, trying to find some more passes. Insulator, very awkward on the sidewall there, but technically beats one.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are going to be kicking themselves for, missing those, because I feel like they had 2 opportunities to score just then. So hopefully they're able to, first of all, it just goes to show me that their passing is on point, because they're making the plays happen, and finally they find the back of the goal. No pass needed, as Insulator Gap will read the defense like a pop-out book, and unfortunately, Panas popped that one out into the wrong direction, and Insulator Gap was more than ready to take advantage of that. Well done. The first game goes to the Sharks.
Well, I mean, at Soka, it's just simple. Being at the right place at the right time is always important, and that's exactly what happened there. Gap, 3 big-time goal, gets the hat trick to be the difference maker in OT, and it was just opportunistic positioning there in the end, was trying to be that annoyance, being that pressure. I don't want to say pipe, but I can't remember the word. Anyway, they wanted to apply that pressure. They wanted to make sure they couldn't get the clear, give their teammates time. And all of a sudden, the ball just falls to them, and it's just like, yeah, we take those. A wise man once said, we do take those, and that's exactly what the Sharks said.
That right there is ancient Rocket League proverbs and scripture. That we do, in fact, take those. But I want to look a little bit of the stats here, because we're going to do a little bit of caps analysis, because the stats is where the story is told. And what we're looking at, we're seeing Insulator Gap coming in hot with 100% goal participation, 3 goals to their name, and as well as the other side, we have Eskimo with the 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the Sharks did well by being able to recover that, and, they were able to win off those 3 goals, great. And, the same thing with the Wizards. You made it close, you took it to OT, you kept it within 1, great. But still, for both teams, I need to see more passing plays. Each team had 1 pass play on the board. They had 1 assist, but we need more. We can't leave it up to, 1 player on each team to kind of, like we were talking, like, you can't carry the weight of the whole team. If they really want to make an impact, and if they really want to come together and really make a statement, going in, to the latter half of the season, they really need to start incorporating everybody. And maybe we can just chalk that up to game number 1 and say, you know what, they're warming up, they're getting ready. So hopefully in game number 2, we start to see them share the sugar a little bit more.
Well, it's about spreading the love, and it is a threes game, so that means it is a team game as Panas tries to find that soft touch there. Gap, patient in the back end, though, able to turn that one away. He's looking for Parker. A nice touch between the two. It's actually technically a pinch. It's still pushing towards his back end. Panas, has to make a touch, and does. Patriots looking midfield. No, it's an own goal! A comedy of errors on the back end, and that's how the Sharks strike first.
Yeah, honestly, what happened then is just like, it's not entirely their fault. The piggy the piggy buggy it's not entirely their fault. I know exactly what happened on this one. It was just, you see it going on, you see the ball, and your instinct is jump. And sometimes you really have to fight your hardest instincts, and you just have to just not do anything. And it's really hard to do, because when you're playing games like Rocket League, it's so fast-paced that you kind of want to, constantly you're thinking, oh, I got to do something, I got to do something, I got to do something. But sometimes the best thing is to do nothing, because I don't know if you saw, but the Piggy Buggy actually had backup in the far post from their teammate, who I think could have had a better read on the ball. So instead of jumping up and not having a calculated touch yourself, you just really have to fight the urge and just let that one go.
Well, it was a very good 2 opportunities there from the Wizards, very good passes and some really clean shots, just they could not find the back of the net. A double commit here from the Wizards. Parker open net, gonna collect that one. You cannot give the Sharks that much space, because they will make you pay in the end.
And once again, they're operating the corners, and now some miscommunication coming from the Wizards. That double commit, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. To me, in my opinion, the double commit is a death sentence. Every time you see a double commit come out, it more often than not will lead to a goal, and that's exactly what happened. Granted, the corner is some of the hardest places to defend, but that one could have been avoided just with a little more communication. A simple "I got it," and maybe you could have saved yourself a goal.
But at Soka, double the commit, double the fun, right?
Absolutely not. And I don't know who told you that. That was a lie. That's a lie you just said. That is 100% not true. I don't care what nobody says. That is not fun. But you know what is fun? A little bit of retaliation coming from the Piggy buggy, taking this one all the way by themselves, and Parker going up and coming up empty, and then with a little bit of finesse, it's going to be the back end of the car to get the touch and put that one into the back of the net. The piggy buggy brings their team back within one.
Said it, the defense just lulled to sleep there, and it's going to be up to the Wizards to respond. They tied this game back up. Panas and company need to find one of their own here to notch it back up again. A minute and a half has progressed in this game, and no one really truly in control. It's been punch, counterpunch, and now a punch by this Sharks squad. A shot technically by Panas. Insulator getting another save. That MVP from last game trying to find another one to put in their repertoire, but they only have the assist this game. No goals scored, so maybe they were listening, maybe had the stream on in the background. You know, an assist here and 1 goal for Patriots and Parker each for the Sharks.
Yeah, not only that, but when you mention it, notice that they don't have any goals. They got the 1 assist, but they're still holding the top spot on the leaderboard. That's because they're getting what we like to call hustle points. They're moving around. They're getting the touches. They're getting centers. You know, they're doing what they have to do, and they got 2 saves on the board. So granted, they don't have any goals, but they're still putting a lot of hustle on the field, and it's reflecting. But not only that, the hustle they're putting in is letting their teammates become more acclimated to the rotation, getting them involved, and even leading to their goals as well. So again, we're seeing a lot more team-oriented play styles coming out from the Sharks, and it's working for them.
An interesting ball side rotation there from the Wizards, and that gave up a lot of space. Eskimo, though, able to get back in time. That was a dangerous situation. Lucky to get out of it there. A nice 50. Instead of hitting the ball, going for Parker slows this play down, but now a pass back out mid. Insulator tries to put it on. Standing up in time, it's Eskimo once again. This Wizards team not giving up. They still are down 1 goal, but trying to find some offense of their own. Eskimo in the corner here, gets the boost, actually going to turn. Patriots reads it slow and a very good 50, able to deny that one, but the Wizards still looking for something. Here's the ball, bounces mid. Eskimo can't beat it. Parker puts it into this corner. They want a clear, and they get it back out to midfield. The Sharks finally getting some relief.
Yeah, and now we're really starting to see that back and forth come out, you know, like nobody's really getting a threshold. We're seeing a lot of respect, first of all. Nobody is coming out and trying to pull off anything crazy because they didn't want to leave their net open for a counterattack. So we're seeing a lot of respect being shown on both sides of the ball here, but it's a scoring opportunity coming off of the back wall from Panas. What a read here, an absolute banger coming off the backboard, and my initial thought was that maybe a teammate would come through with a good read and get it, but Panas says, no, I don't need you. I can take it all by myself, and sure enough, we're tied back at 2.
You can see the targeting computer watch one defender go up and one defender go across, and you knew that back post was open, taking the shot. Very good there, but Insulator Gap sees a gap in the defense. Beautiful off the kickoff, striking immediately. Punch, counterpunch, whatever you have at Soka, the Sharks answer.
Oh, I'm 100%, and that was such a hard read too. Insulator Gap just like finding, like literally just watching this laser shoot off of the wall, and not only that, it didn't even come straight out. It kind of arced its way on the way out, so that was just a beautiful reaction coming from Insulator Gap to find that, and then not only that, but get it just right down off the crossbar, because I can't tell you how many times I miss a shot because I hit the crossbar and it just goes completely off target. But for Insulator Gap, they found the crossbar and they managed to put that one right into the back of the net, and now they are up 1 yet again. It's just been a phenomenal show out for the offensive side coming from the Sharks.
Overcommitted Panas and Eskimo both pulled up for this one, so now running back is Eskimo. So possession handed back off to the Sharks. They have a 1-goal lead and they have 50 seconds to kill, but no, it's a handshake. A little bit past back. Parker pushing it up high. Not a favorable touch. Insulator's up. So is Panas. Eskimo in the corner here trying to find something for the Wizards. He actually has a touch from Parker. Parker to Patriots, though. But once again, this ball finds its way to this orange backward. It's bouncing high. Panas, the soft touch, looking for a teammate. Coming in is Piggy, but Piggy denied at the point of attack. Patriots standing tall, but the ball will not leave this orange half. It's bouncing out to midfield. Insulator Gap putting it on this side wall once again, but it still stagnates at this about quarter field mark. Insulator Gap finally pushing it out. 14 seconds left. They have to find something and need to find it now.
Yeah, with the final seconds ticking away, this could be the opportunity, but the backboard pinch, so clean. Sending that one all the way back to where it came from, onto the orange side, and the Sharks will take game number 2.
They take game number 2 by 1 goal, and that makes it a 2-game lead in this series. And if you are not exactly accustomed to MLE, it is a series, that's what we call it, but we will play all 5 games no matter the score. So right now the Sharks are at that match point, trying to make it a 3-0 and then push for the 4 or 5 wins. Wizards, a little bit of a slow start. OT couldn't do it there. have another very tightly contested game. Had a shot at the end of the game, Captain, and couldn't do it again. It's just coming to that finish line and falling so painfully short.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, clearly the Sharks must have had the stream up and they heard what I said, because they were definitely sharing the ball a lot more going around on that one, because everybody got a piece. They had 3 goals coming across from 3 different players. And not only that, but their shot count, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was only 5 shots taken for the Sharks, and on the other side you had 8. So like the shot difference, normally when you see the shot count going in one favor, that's usually the team that wins, but not this time around. It was the quality of the shot that beat the quantity. And also, I need to give a huge shout out to Parker for that last game, just meeting my OCD perfectly. They managed to recover 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 save, and 1 shot ones all the way across the board. Well done, Parker.
A cycle was to be had, but that's not the stat the Sharks were looking at. They were looking at the win. They're trying to find a series win and put that stat in the column for him here. Parker passing it up, but a double commit from that Sharks. Something you don't want to see is Piggy now. This has been the passer of this Wizards team statistically, and they have their number 2 and number 3 shooters in Eskimo and Panas, but that offense has not been on fire yet. They have been good, but not good enough. The Sharks stand tall. 30 seconds to pass. Insulator, nice soft touch here. He cannot get this one to drop. Patriots puts it on, but it's too far left. The team bump there coming out from the Wizards. Nothing friendly about that fire. A double commit again. Parker collects the open net.
Yeah, what was it that you were saying? Double the commit, double the fun? I believe that's what you said, but yeah, it didn't look too fun for the Wizards. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely fun for the Sharks. They saw that double commit, and all 3 Sharks were circling the bloodbath that was the double commit. They were circling around looking for the perfect opportunity to strike, and they got it. 1-0 now in favor of the Sharks. And again, they just been nonstop scoring so far.
Well, they strike, and anytime they give an inch, they take a mile back. And that has been their answer. They swarm in front of balls. They try to make very tough contests. They do not give a lot of boost. They do not give a lot of space. As Patriots finally adding some demos to their repertoire. I was going to ask that from the Wizards, but reading my mind, the Sharks say, no, we're going to start that here. So I want to see the team begin to get a little bit more physical bumps and demos, but it doesn't matter. Panas, that long dominus, arcing and finding a way to put it behind the last defender.
Yeah, this was a great read here. And notice how Panas was kind of patrolling the midfield, and that's where the most pivotal plays take place, is at the midfield. So, you know, we see a lot of like scrambling in their rotations, but if they just hold that line and they manage to watch themselves and don't push too far ahead, they're going to see a lot more opportunities. I like the control from Panas, because Panas could have pressed the gas and just jumped on that off the first miss, but they were patient, they sat, they waited, they watched, and they let the opportunity come to them, and they were able to take advantage. So now we are all tied back up at 1, but still I would like to see a little bit more team-oriented plays coming from the Wizards, but still, like we always say, matter of fact, we take those, so good on you.
Well, a soft touch here from the Sharks, the Patriots trying to find one there. Parker gets a soft touch here. Insulator over 1. Piggy waiting for it. Had a teammate behind him. The Wizards kind of hemmed into their own goalie's box right now. Another double commit from them. Backwards is Parker, and he ends up winning this. Eskimo spinning to get back to that one. A little bit awkward there on the rotation in the middle of the net. Up is Gap, but he can't find the shot. The ball still sitting at this midfield. Eskimo finally getting it out. Sharks and Parker on the defensive half finally for the first time in about 35 seconds. Piggy waiting for the touch here off the wall and won't get it. Gap beats him, but Panas throws it off the backboard, trying to find his teammate. Eskimo has the demo, but he can't find the ball. It rolls underneath of him. Gap has a lot of space, but gets caught on that sidewall, slows the momentum down, so we're finally going to get back to that slow, feeling each other out pace.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. I don't even want to say that it's hesitation. I just see a lot of panic plays that are going down on both sides of the ball. To be fair, you know, we're still tied at 1, but you know, it's like when we're playing games at ourselves and we see a perfect opportunity to score, our eyes get real wide, and then we just jump. It's kind of like that error play that we saw earlier with an own goal in game. I think it was game number 2, where you know you see the ball coming at you and you just can't help. Boom, reflex. You got to jump. So I think that was what happened with Eskimo. They saw the opportunity. Instead of slowing it down, trying to take control of the ball, they just immediately went for the shot, and they came up with nothing but air. So the first team that really starts to kind of take control and start pacing themselves a little bit more is going to come out on top in this game.
So get away from the Van Halen rules, right? Don't go ahead and just jump, because that's what Gap is doing. The soft touch to midfield. Parker, the slow play, 2 OP, 2 Sharks, 2 goals.
And this is one thing I've also noticed, just talking about, the amount of control. Insulator Gap has a lot of control with their boost. They have really good boost control, so that way when they use it, it always leads to something great. It leads to something good. We saw it earlier when Insulator Gap even went up and was able to get a nice aerial touch because they were in so much control aerially. As I can pronounce that. Oh, and then again, it's Insulator Gap again, only to further the praise I was just giving them. But what a pass from Parker, coming out from the corner and then just barely getting the thread through the needle. Insulator Gap finds the side and manages to bring this one up by 2, so now they got the lead plus some insurance.
100% goal participation on the Sharks side. 2 goals, 2 assists, or 3 goals, 3 assists, mind you. I was reading it there. Patriots puts it back on. Another assist, another goal. The Sharks are out in force. They have finally warmed up, and the Wizards, they have no answer for it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on the Shark side right now, but they are absolutely popping off. Insulator Gap with the Playmaker medal on the board so far. And again, like you said, 100% goal participation with only 1 goal scored. And that's what I like to see, honestly. I love to see the assist. I like when they share the sugar. I like when they pass the ball around. So it's definitely the type of plays that you want to bring to the pitch because, like I always say, it's the pass plays that win the games.
Well, at SoCo, the only thing I'd say that will win the games more handily is having more goals at the end. So I think passing plays certainly help get towards that. And right now, the Sharks full steam ahead, full control of this game. They are in control of this series and are trying to put it away. And with a team that was tied for 6 coming into this evening, they want to get a 5-0 to begin to creep towards that number 4 spot and wrestle away this playoff spot that the Wizards are technically defending right now at Week 7. Eskimo on the sign where they're going to lose control of the ball bouncing around the Wizards. 30 seconds left, and they really don't have a lot of things. They seem to be grasping at straws, just drawing it up in the dirt, sending shots, and hoping it'll work.
Yeah, at this point, they don't even need to grasp for straws. They really need to grasp for wands and hope for some type of magical miracle to pull this one off because it is all but over, except for the crying at this point, as we get to the final 10 seconds, and there is a 3-goal differential. I would hate to call a game early, but it's starting to look that way as Insulator Gap will put this one towards the middle over to Parker, and why not go for some highlight reel nuttery buttery action while we got a little bit of final seconds left on the clock. And then finally the clock will hit 0 and the ball will hit the dirt to make it hurt. The Sharks will take game number 3.
That's game 3. That's 3 games in a row at SoCo, so that is technically the series for them. And the table is set. The cabinet is currently being unlocked. The brooms are being prepared at SoCo. They are full steam ahead towards a sweep. I don't want to put a team down when there are 2 games left, but if the Sharks play like they have, that was 14 shots to 3. If they continue to play like they have, it might be a done deal. But the Wizards have kept it close in the first 2 games. If they can find a way to calm it down and get back to that gameplay, they can do that.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I mean, we don't want to talk down on any team by any means, not at all. But, I mean, and you don't want to kind of emphasize that. But the shot count was clearly one-sided on that one. Only 3 shots coming from the Wizards. And I couldn't even count how many came from the Sharks that game. It was just incredibly one-sided. But one thing that I wanted to really note on and I wanted to talk about is that when we first started this, we said that both of these teams didn't have their star player playing today. So both of these teams were without their best player. And I think that really what tests like the aptitude of a team is to see how they perform without their anchor, without their star player, and see what they can do with the remaining roster that they have. And I think that speaks volumes for both of these teams. And I'm really happy to see that the Sharks are able to hold on so well, going in, for the series' sake, without their star player.
Well, right now, Eskimo and company, they don't have the series, but they want to find wins of their own. The pass down to Panas and a beautifully played shot in that up left corner. Finds a way to get a goal only 18 seconds in.
Yeah, that was the second time I've seen Panache just laser a goal in from the midfield, except for this time it was off of a pass from Eskimo. So hopefully we see some more of that. And like we have said, you play all 5 games here at MLE. So it's still imperative and important to play this all the way through because they can still take 2 wins home and put 2 losses onto the Sharks. So they still have plenty of opportunity to do some damage.
And this is the fun thing about MLE. At SoCo, we don't look at series wins, we look at total wins. So, these teams haven't had the best series overall comparatively, but with the amount of wins that the Sharks could get here tonight, is a very important step towards getting the playoffs. And you say it, the Wizards trying to find 2 games of their own here. Technically, they're ahead of the Sharks, so 2 wins here keep them further ahead and help close that gap that's being gained by the Sharks. So both teams a lot left to play for here. Only week 7, Eskimo and company, they have an early lead. That's something they haven't had in a long time, if not ever. The Wizards on top and feeling maybe a little bit uncomfortable. They're not used to it. Usually they're playing behind or in a tie game.
Yeah, and another thing I really haven't seen from the Wizards at all is, or even for the other team, I haven't seen a lot of physical plays. Don't get me wrong. We've seen them kind of getting each other's way, bumping. It was all kind of accidental. But I'm starting to think that maybe if the Wizards want to get by, and trust me, everybody hears me say it, but if you're really trying to get by, we need to see some intentional bump and demo plays. But apparently Panas doesn't need it because Panas is a shooting machine. Again, coming from the midfield and then hitting this one off into the side, just kind of sends a floater out into the net, and unfortunately, Insulator Gap can do nothing but watch. It's going to be another goal for the Wizards, making it 2-0.
Got the wedge out there in the bunker, chipping it over the last defender. Patriots over the big-time win on the kickoff. Wizards up 2. This is very important for them. A very good momentum game. They have to keep it up. There's 2 minutes passed off the clock, and now a beat from Eskimo. An open net, but turns away. A little bit too far left. The ball bounces back towards the blue side. I think we have a Rule 1. Captain Atsoka, Insulator Gap, and Piggy Buggy. The 2 secondary MVPs are taken out. It's turned into a 2s game.
Well, hey, we all know rule number 1. No one breaks thy rule. They have to play it out. And if don't get me wrong, if a player comes in and they accidentally get bumped loose, then, all's fair in love and war. But they have to stay put. So saith the rule. And now the 2v2 scenario will unfold as Panas tried to go 2v1 against the opposition there. But now Eskimo coming up through the midfield. Not a lot of boost to follow this one through, as Panas will get beat by Patriots. And a follow-up shot will go just askew and off into the side, as Eskimo now will find 100 boost, but now has to find a way to get past the defense. Yep, they broke Rule 1. We're back to a 3v3.
I was getting ready to get hype. I love 2s, Atsoka. That is my home. That is my bread and butter. I wanted to get talking about how you see the transition from 2s. There's a lot more space. Players going to look for passes, but it's a lot more dangerous because there's no third person back. But no, these teams say, you know what? Screw it. We handshook long enough on the Rule 1. We'll handshake and break it. So now it's a 2-goal lead for the Wizards. They are putting the pressure back on the Sharks. They need to find something here, but maybe they're not pressing as hard. They already have the series in the bag. They had the Rule 1. They're chilling. The bros are being spammed in chat. 1:43 left. Still down 2 goals.
Yeah, not only that, but with the Wizards, especially with that Rule 1 that just came up, but hold the phone. Oh my goodness, that was a close goal, but it was the Sharks who said no. They're going to send that one back to the other side. But that Rule 1, that lockup actually worked in favor a lot for the Wizards because, like you said, both of their secondary stars players were kind of locked up there, and it took a lot of time off the clock. And with that 2-goal lead in favor of the Wizards, it only works in their benefit. So as we move on, we're approaching the 1-minute mark, and that's even less time that the Wizards have to hold on to this 2-goal lead. So this could very well end up to a win here for the Wizards in game number 4 if they can just hold on, as the Piggy Buggy will play some good defense to get the clear and send this one to the other side. Now, out of the corner, a nice touch coming down in scoring position, but it's Parker to get the touch and get the save to clear it away.
If you're a Sharks fan, your heart rate was a little bit accelerated there. You saw that white dominance from Panas floating in midfield. That has been the death mark in this game. But no goal to be had here. The Wizards double committing there. The Sharks could be opportunistic here. A 2-on-1 opportunity opening for them. Parker into the corner. Eskimo, a very unfavorable touch, but a big-time pinch there from Panas. Clears the ball out. Patriots puts it back on. 30 seconds left. The Wizards trying to kill some clock here, but they cannot knee it out. They cannot run it. They have to control the pace, control the ball, and not giving anything up. But Parker, open net, walking it home. He's got to beat Eskimo, but a big-time save. The slow play is too OP at Soka. They turn it away.
Oh, I like the slow plays, honestly. That's where the big mental fortitude comes in. But with under 10 seconds, it's going to be the Shark getting a cheeky little demo there on Eskimo. Saw that one. But still, why not? There's, 0 seconds left on the clock. Game's about to be over. Let's body at least one person. But well done from the Wizards to take a game off the Sharks. And still, like we said, we play all 5. So it really does matter. Every game matters. And it's imperative that you go down swinging. And again, they just played phenomenal because not only did they take the dub, but they shut out the Sharks.
Well, You shut down the offense that's been humming. That is a very important thing. You had 2 goals of your own at Soka, and both off the back of the Herculean effort from Panas, who hasn't had the most explosive series up until this point, but gets the assist from Eskimo and then finds a way to get that extender goal and keep those pesky Sharks away, because a good friend of mine says 2 goals is 1 goal, 1 goal is none, and if you don't have a lead, you don't have a win, and that is what the Wizards were trying to do. Sharks up 3-1, but now the sweep is gone. It's up to them to finish a 4-1. The Wizards, they're not going to let that happen.
Yeah, and they can still finish with a 3-2 scoreline, which would still be pretty good. Like, it's not horrible. You know, it's better than a 5-0. So if I was the Wizards, I would be just going down absolutely insane in the next game. Got to put it all on the table. And again, just to emphasize of us playing all 5 games, seeing how the Wizards were playing that game. Granted, they had the 2-goal lead. They got it early, and they just, they kind of went stagnant and just held on to that for the entirety of game number 4. And again, we saw a couple of double commits again from the Wizards, and the Sharks didn't capitalize, because honestly, when you double commit, you might as well be just chumming the water, because the Sharks will eat that up 9 times out of 10. But luckily for them in that game, the Sharks just let that one fly by, and they found that one where they didn't. But I guarantee, if they let plays like that go by again in game number 5, the Sharks will not miss the opportunity.
Well, now the ball bouncing back and forth. Parker has some control here. The Sharks stunned in that game 4. They thought they had the sweep, but lost control and ended up losing a game there. Trying to find some reconciliation here. Try and find a win as they find a shot on board. Turned away by Piggy. Piggy gets beat there. Panas waiting for it in his own corner. Soft touch, throwing it home. Parker has to beat him, but can't. The Wizards finally getting this ball out. They gave up a bunch of pressure there for about 40 seconds, but it breaks just for a little bit. Wizards trying to find something of their own. Eskimo too overzealous there. Piggyback in the corner. Soft touch. Yes, Eskimo near post rotation. I like the play here, but he's not on the ball. No boost. This is an issue to be here. 2 players in, trying to commit in. The Sharks get some control here and finally get some room.
Yeah, nobody really has some good footing to stand on here. We're seeing double commits come from both sides of the ball here. Both teams just both of them, I guess, trying to find the early goal and get some early momentum, but it's leading to the exact opposite. Nobody's scoring. Everybody just flying for the ball, getting in each other's way, and it just looks like a mess out there right now. Still holding it to 0-0 as, we're getting close to 3 minutes and 30, but now an opportunity here is, again, they're bumping each other in the net, and now a demo from Parker onto Eskimo will lead this one to get a touch from Patriots, as this one will go back down in a 50, lasering out of the corner, and now going back into Sharks territory as this will go up high off the back wall. Parker sending this one back towards the midfield, and a touch there from Piggy Buggy to slow down the offense, but this one will be on target and saved and cleared away by Eskimo.
Firstly, a warm welcome here joining us from any other places as Piggy Buggy found the open net. There was 2 players collided. I don't know who it was. There was 2 Sharks ending up in front of each other and just collecting that easy shot. Piggy breaks the tie here in game 5.
Yeah, that was pure control right there. Like we were talking earlier, Eskimo had the same opportunity in a previous game, and they just kind of panic jumped. They didn't take their time. That time, Eskimo saw the play, they took control of the ball, and that led to a beautiful pass in the midfield, which left to a pretty easy goal because they made 2 of the Sharks attack each other. So when you make that happen and you take control, you trip up the defense, and it leads to beautiful plays. So that's exactly what the Wizards need going into game number 5, and now we're starting to see the Wizards really come together as a team.
Well, they have done enough. They have a 3-goal run right now in the past 2 games. It's very important for them to continue this. Now, this is their way back into technically the series to make it a 2-3 instead of a 4-1. They have the lead. It's just at halftime. A true reset has kind of fallen on this pitch as the ball made its way about midfield at the time. Both teams back, got some boost, kind of recollecting their thoughts as now Parker comes up. The Sharks, their offense has just been shut down. It's as if someone went to the source and just turned it off. They cannot find any goals. They cannot break through this blue side of the Wizards. They bend but don't break.
Yeah, it's really, to me, again, this is just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, but to me, it's the Wizards' presence at the midfield that we saw, earlier when it came to Panas really holding down with the dominance in that midfield, and then not only that, but was turning up goals from the midfield, and ever since then, the Wizards just got the idea that, hey, we should start, really controlling the midfield, and then maybe we can control it even further later down into the Sharks' territory, and I think that's a trend that they just started running with, because now, not only are they controlling the midfield, but they're breaking through with a lot of pass plays, and they're having a lot more control. So I think they really cut the legs from underneath the Sharks offense, and now they're just kind of running away with it. But still, with only a 1-goal lead, anything can still happen, and it will be Insulator Gap to tie us all back up at 1.
I wanted to question what legs do Sharks have, but you know what? They have enough here as Finesse has to go up, avoiding the demo and open net shot. Insulator takes advantage of it. It is a tied ball game, game 5. The Sharks finally find a way to get a goal for them. This could be their turning point to force it back towards that 4-1.
Yep, and this is exactly what we wanted to see in a game number 5. The last game of the series, we want to see go neck and neck. If we can, we want to see a little bit of an overtime. And then the Sharks nearly coming up by taking the lead there, but unfortunately for them, it was cleared away and saved. And now back into the Sharks territory. Going off the backboard now, looking for a touch was Eskimo, but it will go right back into the corner. And now we have 2 Wizards fighting for the same ball, which could lead to a little bit of confusion here as the dunk from Eskimo on Insulator Gap will shut the cap on this save here. Insulator Gap feels bad, but the dunk was mad. Unbelievable. Eskimo coming out of nowhere, falling from the sky, and putting that one right into the back of the net. Oh, you'll love to see it.
Tactical confusion works. If you don't know what you're doing, there's no way your opponents can know what you're doing. And now the Wizards a chance here again. Piggy Buggy a little bit too overzealous. That was a double commit on this side. Now that worked off last time, but the Sharks have an opportunity. Patriots very low boost here as his teammate ended up taking it. Piggy puts it in the corner for Panas. Panas looking for a near post shot. Backs off instead because Gap was there. The Sharks down 1 goal. 30 seconds left. They have to find something now. A nice clear here as Panas waits for it. The soft touch. That Dominus finding the sidewall. Parker is up. Another shot coming through, but it's way too far wide. Now, Parker has to run to it and can't. Buggy over 1. Not over 2 as Insulator wins it, but it's just a trade of possessions back and forth. Now the shot is on. Panas puts it in, and Patriots can't dig it out. The Wizards, they gave up 1, but I think they're going to take 2 back-to-back.
Bro, tell me Panas has not been sniping the net all night. They've been going from the midfield, getting these half-field shots and then putting them into the back of the net. Now, Panas comes in with the full length of the pitch to put that one in and then get the insurance goal in what very well could have been the final dagger, the nail in the coffin that will end this game. And now they still have another opportunity, but this will fall out over into the side as the Wizards will take game number 5.
You said that and the ball just floated in front of Eskimo, and it was like, oh, it just couldn't get there in time. The Wizards, they gave up 3 to start this series. That is never a good way. I talked about it. I was like, if they don't step it up, they have the possibility and likely chance of getting swept. They answered my call. They came out. They played as a team. That was everybody eating. All had a goal. All had assists. And there were 6 saves at Soka. They started solo plays, didn't get a win, came together as a team, and found a way to win 2 back-to-back.
Not to mention, I want to look at the shot count real quick because we're seeing from the Wizards, they only had to take 4 shots to recover 3 goals, where on the other side, they had quality. 7 shots. Yeah, 7 shots. So, like, again, what you're saying, like the Sharks were going for solo play, but if you look at the Wizards, they were clicking with each other on that one. 1 goal, 1 assist per teammate. Just, you love to see it. You can't get much better than that, but that will remain to be seen as we have more Rocket League coming up very, very shortly. So do not go anywhere. We have some more action coming at you right here at Minor League Esports presented by APM Music. Don't go anywhere. Captain's orders.